Hello, this is Dustin Burrell with CIS Networking 104. We're doing chapter 10.1 through 10.3 on the hands-on labs, which is pretty much configuring layer 2 switches for 10.1. 10.2 will be verifying layer 2 switches, and 10.3 will be configuring port security. So what we're going to do is just start on 10.1. In this lab, you will configure the 3 switches in the graphic. Make sure it's all set up like this, like we want. Interface, pretty much, let's see here. Interface 17 to 1, 18. There's 18 to 2. If you don't have the book, it's going to be kind of difficult to understand how to put this together. But we pretty much go with F00. Just a second. How the heck did I get that? I got mine set up to gig 00. But that's not going to matter anyway because we're not going to the router. But this should be F00. I set it up with gig 00. Not a big deal. This is an important one, FA08. You want that here for your from your router to your switch 1. So router 1 to switch 1 is F08. Over here we're going to use the ports 16, 15, 17, 18. 15 is going to go to 1, 16 is going to go to 2. 16 to 2. Then we have 1 to 15. We have over here, see down here we have F1 to 17. Then we have F2 to 18. See. And then down here we're going to have 5 to 5 and 6 to 6. F5, F5, F6, F6. Our PCs are on straight cables. It's going to be to the O3 interface and O4. Here you see it again, O3, O4. So in this lab, you will configure the 3 switches in the graph, pretty much connect to the switch S1 switch and configure the following, not in any particular order. So we're going to go into our first switch and give it a host name. I actually did it already, but I'll show you how to do it from configuration mode. Here we do host name, and we're going to call it S1. And then after that, we're gonna this is where you can enable a secret password if you'd like. If you Todd, I'm gonna skip this password just due to the fact that they're kind of a pain in the neck for the instructor to grade it if he doesn't catch what the password is. But he knows we know how to do it. It would be like enable secret Dustin, but I'm not gonna do it. Okay, so we'll move on to what we need to describe to make sure that the switches are making connectivity throughout all 3 switches throughout the network. So the command that we're going to do is interface F0/15, and we're going to give it a description. First connection to S3. F015 description, first connection to S3, and then interface F0/16 description, second connection to S2. Oh, need to watch myself. S3. Because that's where 15 and 16 are going. Interface F0 slash 17. Description. Third connection to S2. Yeah, and this is it's very important to pay attention. There would be no reason to be a third connection. I just got in a transfer for a second. I'm glad I caught it. But there's only going to be 2 connections per switch. So on this interface F017, it is switch 1 still, but it's the first description and first connection to switch 2 from switch 1. So make sure you don't foul up and do your commands incorrectly. Interface F0 slash 18. And this will be description second connection to S2. And then you may wonder, what are we doing with the F08 up there? Interface F08. Command we're going to give is description connection. I don't know if you have to capitalize this. Sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't. Connection to IVR. And that'll at least connect the router's F008 interface to the switch to make connection work. Now, we can get into the line con. Line con 0. Now we're in configuration line mode. And this is where you can do a password. Password console. I'm not going to do console. I'm going to do Cisco. You can give it the login mode. But make sure you give it logging synchronous. If you do logging synchronous, it'll make it so when you do like a show run, you can see all of your interfaces and configurations on one page instead of split up. Let me just do that again. Logging synchronous. Okay. Now we need to do the interface VLAN. But before I do that, exit back into config mode, interface VLAN 1. And we're going to use IP address 192.168.10.17 with a C class mask of 240 at the end. So that'd be 255.255.255.240. Are we okay? Did it go through or what? Okay, we're good. And make sure you give it a no shut command. And you're going to see that interface VLAN 1 change state to up. Line protocol on interface VLAN is now up. Exit out of here. And we got to do a banner. Banner message of the day. I'm going to say, this is my Switch 1. Oh heck, we'll go by the book. S1 Switch. Let's see here. see what the problem is. Gotta give a space right here. Okay. Now we have a message of the day saying, hey, this is my switch 1. Like when people enter into the command line interface, that's what they'll see. We'll exit out of here. And we'll do a copy, run, start. And now we're going to do the exact same thing on all the other routers on switch 2 and switch 3, but I am conveniently going to pause it and then we'll check the rest of it out. We'll move on to 10.2 after I get all the correct commands configured on switch 2 and switch 3. So I will be right back. Alright, I'm done configuring my network on switch 2 and switch 3. I'm ready to move to lab 10.2, which is verifying layer 2 switches. Basically connect to each switch and verify the management interface. So we're going to go into switch 1. Enable configuration mode. Okay, and actually I want to exit out of here. Just stay in privilege mode. And we're going to do a show interface VLAN 1. Show interface VLAN 1. What we're going to verify here is that the VLAN is up. VLAN is up. Line protocol is up. We also want to make sure it's the correct IP address, which is 192.168.10.17 on the 28th network. So that is correct. So connect each switch and verify the CAM, which is the MAC address table. And on switch 1, I'll just show you how much we have at first before we configure the PCs. So go S MAC address table. We have 3 on network. We have 3 on switch 1. On switch 2, we have show MAC address. Here we only have 1 on switch 2. And on switch 3, we have SH MAC address table. So we have 4 on 3, 1 on 2, and 3 on 1 before we configure our PCs. So let's go configure our PCs and then we'll see how much we'll have. So on PC A, fast Ethernet, we'll do 192.168.50.25. And then 255.255.255. Oops. Valid IP address. What are you talking about? 192.168.50.25. There we go. That's fine. Do that here. Same thing on PCB. 192.168.50.26. Go to PC. And 28 for this one. Alright. So you get all those configured. And now we'll go back and do a show run on this. Verify the descriptions. We can do that too. I'm not sure that's all that does it, but switches the MAC address. But let's go check it out. We had 3 before we did that. And then let's see here. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See how many more options that gives you? Just because you pretty much configured the PCs to give you more routing network availability. We can also go here to PC A, get our MAC address real quick, 0030A32D. Okay, right? A32D. And we can see that that is being ran right up here. A32D, there's one. There's PCA. 5E92. 5E92. There's PC1. PCB, I mean. Not sure if the other PCs are going to show up because it's over in this side of the network, but let's check. MAC address 4ADE. There it is, yeah. And here, we're not going to go through everything like we just did right there, but you'll notice it here too. And now we have 5 instead of just 1. And so forth. Okay, so I'd like to just do a show run real quick, verify your configurations with the following commands. First, let's just do a show run, like show running configuration in switch 1. You see that we did a host name S1, no IP domain lookup, spanning tree mode PFVST. It's going to say interface 1 through 7. Nothing really much. 8 to the IVR. We have 15, 16, 17, 18. If we were doing switch 2, we'd have 5 and 6, 1 and 2. We did a banner of the day. Banner message of the day. Password Cisco, logging synchronous, line VTY04. 515, and so forth. And the last command before we move on configuring port security would be a SHIP interface brief, I believe. Yes, interface brief. And what you want to verify is what is up, what is down. 01 is up, up. Yes, manually down. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to read it a little closer. Pretty much it's just saying the signed ones are 15 through 18. Those ones are going to be up. The rest of them will be down because that's what's on switch 1. Vice versa, what I said, like on switch 2, it would be 1, 2, 5, and 6. Same with switch 3 because those are the 4 that are available. So that's pretty much 10.2. Now we're just moving on to 10.3, which is configuring port security. Very simple commands to do, but it's very important to understand why we have this. So we're going to go right into switch 3. Oh, wait, first I want to show you guys some pinging since we went through all that to make sure pinging would be available easier. And here, watch this. Ping here to here. It's successful. Let's go into simulation mode. Okay. Auto capture play. Capture forward. Goes out to the PCD. Now, if I didn't configure the MAC address like I did by configuring the PCs and we took it out, and I'll show you an example of what actually happens there. Let's see here, in progress, capture forward, capture forward, capture forward, capture forward, fail. The C then gets saved again. Okay. Okay, so let's go through port security. Stop this, take it back to real time. And in the port security, we're going to start on switch 3 because it's just easiest. Or wait, that's my switch 2. Go switch 3 and get into configuration mode. And here we're going to enter the command for port security. Basically, just the first one you want to know is on interface F03. Interface F0/3. And we would like to do the switch port mode access. Now what this command switch port mode access is allowing is to access the switch from one switch to another, which is what we call trunking. Trunking will allow your packets to be picked up by another switch in case they're dropped. So as you put the switch port mode access, that's allowing switches to pretty much back each other up. Now we want to do switch port security. And what this does is it enables port security with default settings. Check your default setting for the port security. Now what if you want to get more in depth with this? Show port, switch port security interface F0/3. Oops. Interface F03. Just a sec. Oh, hold on. I need to end, get out of here. Then do that command. Oh. Show port security interface F0/3. And see, one thing you just really want to make sure is it's enabled. Violation mode is shut down. That's always good to know. And we have a maximum MAC address 1. Security static address agent is disabled. And that's what your security. And now, what if we wanted to change the settings to have a maximum of 2 MAC addresses that can associate with interface FA03? What we would do is just go back into our configuration mode, right? Interface F0/3, and then put switch port security maximum 2. And it always depends on the network, but we're just maximizing ours to 2 because that's all that's necessary for this activity. There's going to be other situations in your future in this industry where you might have to maximize it to 3, 4, 6, 12, depending on the network. But now we want to change the violation mode to strict. And before we do that, let's just stay in interface F03. And we're going to do switch port security violation. Violation restrict is what we're going to do, but I'm going to do a question mark so you can see what kind we have. We have protection mode, which is going to obviously protect you. Restrict mode is one step away from shutdown mode. It will restrict certain IP addresses, certain routes, but it won't necessarily shut it down. And then there's shutdown mode that would completely just shut it down. But we're going to put this in restrict mode. Switch port security violation restrict. That's going to drop packets from the third source, basically. It won't necessarily shut them down, but it's not going to deliver it from the third source. Now all that's left to this activity is verify your configuration with the following commands. And out of here. Switch port. Oh. Show port. Show port. Actually, just oh, come on. Show port tab. Show port security. And what we're basically looking for is what is enabled. Where is it enabled? It's a restrict mode on switch 3 now. It's enabled on FA03, and the count of addresses are 2. Here's another one for you. Same thing, but interface F0/3. Still enabled. So it should be in violation mode, which is, oh no, it should restrict for the violation mode. And that's pretty much it. And besides doing a show run at the end to see everything that we did. There's our first internet connection. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our activity for this video. Thank you all very much for joining me and watching it. Any comments or questions, feel free to ask. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Have a good day.